What? Why is Lewis Rossman streaming at 9 flippin' o'clock at night in Australia? That's gotta be like 4 o'clock in the morning over there. What is going on with this universe? Testing with a friend. What? Someone told Lewis to quit streaming. It's my time to stream. This is not his allocation. Alright, let me see what's going on in chat here. Hey everybody. Hey Yamara. ITC, Crazy J, Marco Chan. Alright, everybody's here already. Lewis is collecting YouTube money? That scum. Typical New York scum. Hey Wayne Taylor. And Dennis Levin. Okay. As per the title, a few of you have been watching the videos the last few nights will realize I have not been having any good successes with MacBook repairs lately. And then today, really, bit of confetti falling from the roof there. Today really knocked me, just broke the back a little bit. This is the bent iPhone 6S that we had yesterday, I think it was. I get a message this morning saying it doesn't charge. And I'm like, what? So I figured, alright, fine. You know, you've already spent the money with me. It's probably TriStar. And so I thought, well, first thing you do is that was a magic trick, made that disappear. First thing you do is you check that the dock flex isn't actually the one at fault, and plug in a spare dock flex, and sure enough, it doesn't charge. And so I go and I change the TriStar, and it still doesn't charge. And I thought, oh, maybe it was a dud TriStar. I change it again, still doesn't charge. And I think, brilliant. I thought, yeah, maybe this is a Tigris issue, which you don't normally get the Tigris failing on these, but at least I don't. So I replaced the Tigris, it still doesn't work. I think maybe I didn't sit it down right. I replaced it again, still doesn't work. And then at the end of it, I found I could wiggle the cable, and all of a sudden it starts working. I thought, oh, what's going on here? I thought I cleaned this port out yesterday, but I'm thinking maybe I didn't. And anyway, so I'm looking in here, and I don't know if you can see that, but that middle pin is gone. That is out of here like a well-shot baseball outfield. So it's a dock. It's a dock problem. It was never electronics' fault. And what's obviously happened is this dock, whichever one I tested, also must be faulty. So I got misled by the new dock. So I'm most disenchanted, and that 3476 is going to go in the bin. And I just have not had any good run this week or so. I think the last good one that we had was the backlight driver one. That was all corroded. That was it. Ever since then, total junk. Pedro, yes, you need to constantly remind me to get those parts off the boards for you, okay, please? Always come down here with good intentions to do that, and then I get distracted by the bright lights and forget that I'm supposed to be doing things for you. It wouldn't be bad if it was just a day, but this has just been going on for a little bit too long. Hey, Jim. Yeah, see if this one works. Hey, see, it comes up 0, so is this legitimately faulty, or? I'm still confused. I'm still half thinking it might be something else, but definitely that dock is needing of being replaced. But I need to find a dock that does work out of my stock, or have to extract one from an existing known working phone. Anyway, let's see what other ones I've got. Load 'em. Yeah, well, I mean, load 'em, that's the thing. I did test with the dock, and it came up saying negative, this is also not working. And I thought, alright, fair enough, we've got a TriStar, and yeah. And the funny thing is, having a known working dock or some other part, those things can just decide to stop working on a moment's notice, I've found. There's no guarantee that what was working yesterday is going to work today. I mean, statistically you got a better chance, but it's still not a guarantee. ADOS, attention deficit disorder. Ooh, shiny. Yeah, that seems fitting. Yeah, so this also doesn't wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. To be fair, this battery is now 100% charged, so I'm kind of like a disservice to myself. I'm going to have to run the battery down or something. And maybe I should just leave this till tomorrow. So we've got 3 separate docks. Surely one of them is going to be okay to use. Alright. I might try a new MacBook tonight. I've got a wine-soaked one. And see if that's going to do any good for my ego. Or whether I'm just going to go further down into the depths of despair. Ah, scratchy nose, scratchy nose. Actually, no, let's do Pedro's stuff first. Let's see, Pedro. Okay. Pedro has put in a request for some parts. And let's see, you wanted that connector there. Hope it's an Aussie wine. Yeah, I hope so too. Let's see if this connector's actually any good. Maybe I should just give it to Pedro now. Yeah, that looks beaten up. I don't think I'm going to give you that one. And that one's missing. A.B. Maguire, Jessica. That looks healthy enough. It's a little fluffy on the sides, but I think that's healthy enough. So you want that one, Pedro, and what was it? You wanted the keyboard connector as well, wasn't it? I think it was the keyboard connector you wanted. Ah, scratchy nose. I had a burst of anxiety this evening. There was a big cat fight out the front. It's not our cats, but anyway, it just spiked me. And then I spent the next half hour coughing. Just, it's kind of crazy. You gotta love it how adrenaline spikes and things like that can do that to you. Okay. The keyboard and the one at the top left. Okay. What's a good hot air gun to get? Phil G, the Quick 861 DW is a pretty good one. Hard to fault it. I mean, I do have some gripes about it, but nothing substantial. Okay, this is going to get stinky, so I'm going to have to... Hey, Sam Davies, Jessica Adele, Esoda, PLG, basically if you end up with the usual set of equipment that we all use, which is basically the Hakko FX951, the Quick 861, the aim scope type microscope, then from there you can make your own sort of fine adjustments on what you like or what you don't like. Okay, so we've got that one. Hey, Tech Mechanic, what was Lewis even going on about? So it's pretty weird for him to... You want that one? Haha. Yeah, okay, I don't want to be... No, that's mangled up. You need like a dozen donors just to get one good part. Oh, yep. And that doesn't even have the bar on it. What's this? Keyboard and fan socket. Pedro, why are you feeling like that for? Don't be like that. At least I'll have a win. I've just got to find my... I do have a... Ah, there it is. So I do have a 3476, that's in reasonable condition. AdSense discriminate against... Oh, right, yeah, okay, yep, understood. Which one's the keyboard? It sounds pretty dumb of me to be asking that, but I'm gonna have to find out. 3476. It's the big one. Okay, what's the other one for? Oh, the other one's trackpad. Okay, so it's this one here. This one's deliciously gummed up already. Quit your crime, Pedro, else you won't get anything. Honestly. I've had enough emotional people today. Just kidding. I'll be in big trouble if my sister hears that. Alright, here we go. Next one. Pedro, go ride on your Norton motorbike and feel better about things. Whoa, a bit too close. These ones are pretty damn hard because they're so big. Yeah, so long rather. That was difficult. By the way, as for the AdWords thing, yeah, I mean, I agree. It is a very frustrating issue. Well, I hope you don't want two of those, because, man, I don't want to suck up any more of those fumes. Okay, now the keyboard, the whatchamacallit, fan connector. That sucker. You destroyed it, putting it back on. Shame on you. There's something melting on the other side and I don't know what it is, but oh my goodness, it stinks. Hey B. Maguire. Thank you very much. I'll... Phew. Oh. It's going to be interesting to see what's on the other side. I don't know what I burnt up on the other side, but it is not a nice smell. It started out smelling like human hair in a bonfire, but then it got worse. That's funny, there's nothing really there. I have no idea what was making all that smell because there's nothing there. That was nasty. Alright, well at least Pedro's sorted out. Thank you, Mr. Maguire. $20 Canadian, which is about $20 Australian, which is 4 tubs of ice cream. I should probably put them in an alcohol soak. Just find something appropriate to put them in. Oh, what's up, Maintel? What? My offer to take a Lamborghini? I did not reject it. I messaged you. I emailed you about that. I thought that there would probably be someone out there who would make better use of it than I could, because I'm just a hack. And I think there might be some other soul out there who will really do a good job with that, whereas with me it's going to probably sit in my rotting shelves for far too long, and then I'll feel guilty about it, and then I'll say I'm going to do something with it this weekend, and then I don't, and then I got to make an excuse, and yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'm definitely a hack. And yeah, Pedro badges like a badger. Okay, I'm gonna let them sit in there, and the alcohol will sort of dissolve out that excess flux a little bit. I could put in the ultrasonic, but maybe if I run the ultrasonic, I've got one of those little tea ball holder things somewhere. It used to be hanging up on the wall and I don't see it anymore. Oh well. So, for Pedro. You never did answer the thickest 7-bay NAS offer. I don't remember that one. Did I even get it? You probably did, and I just sort of went, huh? Tony W, on that, yeah, you're talking about the one that we've been fighting with like last night, the one that's refurbed by an even worse refurber than Apple refurbs. I'm going to guess either a CPU ball issue fault or a board issue, because I have had problems before where it starts up here, I don't get a voltage, one of the rails doesn't appear up here, and I chase it all the way down here underneath those two caps, and I still don't find it. Yeah, and the caps sit in this corner. It just turns into a nightmare. I've left AMTech and the LVDS connector at 2912. No issues long term. I mean, it shouldn't, but you're right. It shouldn't cause any issues because it is a low activity flux. But I like to get it out of those connectors because the flux could impinge on the lever action, and then you might, yeah, just better if I don't have flux in it. I'll leave Pedro to put all the flux he wants into it. Okay, 6S battery, that doesn't need to be replaced. Hey, James Robson. Hey, MicroFX. Bounce off. Interesting. Interesting use of foreign characters to get that. Use a small glass. I should get a urine sample cup and send it to him like that. See whether he's game enough to wonder whether it's diluted flux or whether it's something else. Sorry, that's very immature of me. I'm sorry. I shouldn't talk like that on this channel. So this would be mature, responsible adults here. Sure. Oh, by the way, the lithium pack charger, that works fine. Seems like when it gets to the end of the cycle, it just keeps it on red constantly and no blinking. So, yeah, that's up on the wall at the moment. Alright, let's find this wine-soaked laptop that I've got to look at. As if it's not soaked enough wine already, having it on my workbench will probably get soaked with my own wine. As I whine and complain, whine and complain. Okay, what have we got? Oh, it's a 1466, oh, that's nice. Laptop had wine spilt on it and now will not turn on. I've not tried to repair it, simply remove the motherboard to inspect it. Okay, so they have opened up to have a looky-loo, and no harm in that. Ooh, Jim Hook bought gelato. What flavour of gelato? Okay, let's get this. It's going to come up. There we go. Barcoding system wins the day again. Maybe I should just stick with programming. It seems to be the only thing I'm moderately okay at. Oh, don't worry about it. Sorry, that was just someone important messaging me. And that person is listening. Don't worry about it. I'll just send down in a little package. That's all good. Though it doesn't stop me being jealous of the fact that you seem to be in an area that's ripe for getting reasonably priced MacBooks off people. I've been pushed out of the market because all my access was via eBay, and now there's too many people who are more professional at sniping than repairing the MacBooks on there, and I can't compete. Hey, John Flynn, how's it going in COVID Central down there? See, you poor buggers have been put under notice again. Okay, that's off. Everything's... Oh, 3v42 is down and out. David Wardle, Repair Universe beating you down too. You don't get any wins. What are you trying to repair? What sort of things do you repair? Write a sniping app. Hey JB, how's things in Western Australia? Yeah, it's not really my thing. No. Alright, I don't know if you can see that, but the 3v42 area is completely and utterly destroyed. Hopefully it got destroyed in the correct way, which is to say it will render 3v42 to 0 or something less than 342, as opposed to a couple of MacBooks I've been getting lately which magically get pushed up to 7 volts, and it's not fun when your 342 goes beyond 342. because it damages things like your ISLs, your SMCs, anything else that sits on that line. Okay, so we're just going to take this completely out. Half the states are rolling back reopenings, yeah. Lockdown's coming. Several suburbs away from the nearest hotspot. That's kind of a little bit concerning, I dare say. The effect is already being felt up here. There's no toilet paper on the shelves or anything like that, so well done. Well done, you Victorians. You can certainly say you have an impact that is felt across the nation. That said, it's really bad of me, but I'm kind of looking forward to another lockdown. Mostly because it gets nice and quiet. The cars don't go travelling past here every day at stupid speeds with loud exhausts and screaming people. Yeah. It was very nice at first. It's not nice that people are getting sick. That's not the nice part, but just the quietness is nice. Okay. Okay, we get this out. Did you managed to get... Ooh. Okay, hopefully the flexes didn't get chewed. The hoons, yes. 11 new cases in New South Wales, all people coming to New South Wales from overseas. Yeah, I did actually wonder about that, Yamara, when I heard that they were still accepting people from overseas. I was like, what? I thought we'd close the borders for that sort of thing, and I certainly thought that it was mandatory 14-day quarantine and all that sort of stuff, but it seems like, well, that doesn't appear to be the case. Or at least someone has been naughty. And I see now they're keeping an eye on a new swine virus that's popped up. It's not transmittable to humans at the moment, but it's something to watch out for because it carries the 1918 pandemic components as well as swine flu components. So I guess they're just being extra vigilant now and watching these things before they get to the point where they can jump the species barrier. $22 in from New Zealand overseas. Bacon shortage, yeah, well, we'll live. Okay, so we've got corrosion basically in the classic area, just near the SMC, 342. Looks like the screen itself was saved. The screen connector area, backlight. Wi-Fi seems okay too. Yeah, well, it's not human swine flu. It's just one that they're probably detecting in amongst the, the what do they call the piggeries or what? I can't remember what they call the piggeries. Anyway, but okay, so I have to say that's probably white wine. Red wine usually is very distinct. I could well be wrong. And amazingly, it didn't get up here. And not too bad on the SMC. It doesn't look like any got under it, but... So if we're lucky, we have a little bit of issue there. I'll have to clean that up. Yep, nothing corroded there yet. My estimation based on this is that it's the 342 regulator section that is causing it not to come back up. We've got a little bit of corrosion on the backlight driver. Not backlight, that's not backlight. CD3211. It's not bad. If I accidentally forget that, it'll come out in the ultrasonic wash. So we'll just flux and boil this and see what it looks like under that. Change to chicken bacon. We actually have tried, we use turkey spam, funnily enough. Yeah, if you take turkey spam, slice it thin, and fry it in olive oil, not too hot, but fry it in olive oil, and it's a passable alternative to bacon rashers. Obviously not the fatty part, but the meat part. Sorry, just adjusting. How's that focus? Looks a little bit out. That's nicer. Nicer. How would you go with 360 ice cream made with coconut milk and stuff or sugar? I don't know. I've had some coconut yogurts and stuff like that, but I haven't tried the ice cream. May as well just get that off. Probably it would be prudent to get rid of that. And that cap. The other bits look okay. Okay. Now we'll wash it up with some 80/20. Hey, yummy steak. Yeah, thanks for reminding me. It's actually a 165. I need to... Jobs. Was this job 148? Whoops. Yeah, board code is up. This one's been a little reluctant even with the... Try and add a little more water to it. That's actually a lot of water, but oh well. It's looking pretty damn good. Hey Derek Dutton, how's it going? Flux. Lock that resistor off. Better replace that. Joshua Bell, that would require probably more investment that I'd get back in terms of effort trying to get him to take it on. And besides, he would probably then decide that I need to redo his entire ticket system, which he's tried a couple of times, and I just told him no thanks. It's a 5G radio. Oh lord. I gotta ask Yindi Yamara, because you are out in the communities area, you know, you're away from a lot of things. Is there a strong level of concern, suspicious concern about things out there, like we have here on every damn Facebook thread? It's just full of all these conspiracies. Or are things fairly level-headed out there? He uses Repair Shopper, yeah. Yeah, I don't know if I could integrate with Repair Shopper or not. It's not something I'm actively trying to do. Repair Shopper and I probably... Yeah, I don't know. I don't think anything would work because we both, in my opinion, are probably jerks. He's probably very protective of his software and I'm very protective of my ego. And so we would be at loggerheads. $68. No, you cannot. Don't you know the rule? The best way not to get mods is to ask for mods. It's a very simple rule. Drugs are the biggest issue, not conspiracy theories. Yeah, that is true. I mean, look, I can't really talk. It's been a long time since I've been out and about. So, but it's not a problem I would like to be trying to deal with in Myanmar. So, yeah, I appreciate that there are people like yourself out there doing the best you can, given the situation, given how difficult it is to deal with it. Seems like there's a lot of anger and everything. Just it's all just a mess. It'd be nice if it could wave a wand and just have it all fixed. What doesn't help is you get the people scamming the system as well. It's just a royal mess. Mongrels with crack, bloody hell. It's actually it was a bit of a shock for me because when I lived up in Jabiru, just short of Kakadu National Park, it was not a problem I was aware of. I mean, admittedly, I was young, and this was in the late 80s. No, not late 80s, this was early 80s, 82, 81. And I wasn't really made aware of the situation in general until I got back to Townsville and I was growing up a bit more. And in Townsville there was a park there which contained a lot of people who were displaced for one reason or another. A lot of them were people that had to come in for court cases, and then there was no way, they didn't have a way home or something like that, so yeah, they just hang out in the park, and that of course doesn't help the social imagery and just reinforces the stereotypes, and it gets out of hand from there. Hey, Infomedia, yeah, good to see you. I was wondering, now that you've turned up, I'm like, oh yeah, I haven't seen you for a while. Okay, so... Didn't I have a large cap that I was supposed to... I must have stolen it from there. Wow, looks like I already did. Wow. I was not aware that I had already put those parts across. Looks like I'm asleep at the wheel. Tonstar, no I did not. That one's been declared a no fix. I'm now proposing to the person that we might be able to just swap the board, and they need a new battery as well. They may opt to simply walk away from it. I'm not going to blame them if they do. I mean, the 1502 is a very nice machine, but they may... yeah, they might be starting to push the cost on it a bit. You did the cap first. Really? Yeah. You gotta love the automated brain, eh? Not asleep, we just start chat about big stuff. Yeah, that is true, yeah. I didn't want to come across as being flippant or anything like that. So it's an important subject. Difficult subject, important subject. Bounce off, I tend to mostly do MacBooks at this point. What is on the side of that? Looks like somebody's blood. But I do occasionally do a PC laptop if it's a certain type of situation. And I'm not getting enough heat there. Nor there. I'm gonna need assistive heat here. Pernov, certainly the A1398. I'll see what they come back with. It is going to cost them a little more to get a board, but I mean, given that they've got the 1 terabyte drive in there, it probably would be worth it. Alright, so that's our 342 section done. Thanks, Travis, appreciate that. And thank you, Arnold G, for clarifying the sort of relative numbers. Appreciate that too. And ooh, that's going to need replacing. Just saw that. If we don't have that, our SMC is probably not going to come up. What's that 3 volt area show? 2 or 3 dark solders. I think they are slightly corroded, but they weren't, by my observation, they weren't a problem. They'd come out in the ultrasonic. I could be wrong, but... What's this looks like? You've seen a lot of these people, but you've never seen me. Oh, wait. You meaning, what kind of seeing? Come on. You mean that kind of seeing, Steve K? I thought this was going to be a no motion video. There's a couple you can swap, but not all of them. Like you can put a 165 and a 3437 interchange. Farnell will know the exact ones you can and can't swap. Some of the boards are just memory variants of others. Phew. Yeah, I get flux from Lewis Rossman. I am considering just ordering a box of flux from Amtech directly, but in terms of reselling it in Australia, it's not financially viable for me to do that. I have looked at the numbers, and you end up paying about $50 for a tub of a 30cc tube of flux, and I don't see people really going for that. You mean the 3330 there, perhaps? Lewis should, yeah. Lewis owes me for a lot of things, but I gotta admit, it's hard to put an actual value on the marketing that he does provide me. I mean, there he is. He's got 1.2 million subscribers now, and he promotes my product in a sincere, even if joking and abusive sometimes, but it's not contrived, and that's the key issue there. It's a non-contrived advertising or exposure of my product, and if push came to shove, I could message him and say, look, I need you to do something for me, if it's within reason, and most likely, I'm assuming, he would be willing to step up and do that for me. Like I said, assuming it's nothing too ludicrous, like, hey Lewis, give me $50,000, I'd say he'd probably give me the international birdie symbol at that. But aside from that, he has helped out in many ways. And indirectly as well, by the fact that he has created a market, of a repair market, of all these techs that want to repair MacBooks. And if they want to repair MacBooks, they subsequently, in many cases, use the software that I write. So his creation is what I sell my software to. So if he hadn't have created that, chances are we would not have the level of MacBook repairs that we do these days. And, whatever comes after the MacBooks. He's kind of established that industry. I mean, it was already there before, but he's made it significantly larger, in my opinion. And even if we're not doing MacBooks, my software works with other board views. Basically, if you have a board view, doesn't matter whether it's a MacBook, a washing machine, or whatever, my software will read it, assuming it's the right formats. As opposed to, there are other products on the market that are focused on, say, phones or tablets, and when you buy them, you have access to just phone and tablet board views, whereas the Flex board view will work, it's more like a generic reader, so it will work for all. Okay, that should work better now. Well, so the other... Mr. Rossman's here. The other thing is that anyone can create board views and schematics for their own product. Like, say if you're a manufacturer and you want to be able to give service centers the board views and schematics, but you don't want to actually give them all of the details so they can just run off and manufacture their own. You can generate the board views and schematics from, say, OrCAD or whatever program they're using, and it will only give the bare information that's required, like we have on these MacBook board views, and so you can share that out. Your intellectual property is protected, but you're also able to enable other people to repair the units if they need to. Mr. Rossman, welcome. How did you go with your video discussing Google's disinclination to give us the ability to advertise our services? Okay. I think we're just... that little chap there is going to probably have to be replaced, but everything else flux and boil. Pardon me. Yeah, they might be alright, but I like to lift these up anyway, just in case. I might have a look at that 2850 again, but I'm starting to think it'll be easier just for me to find another board. Interesting that Lewis happened to turn up just as I was praising him for a change. That was some bloody good timing there. I guess I should be fortunate, thankful about being fortunate. That little spot there. Uh, 800 viewers and 25,000 views. It was a bit of an oddity. Not the normal. On a good night I'll usually get about 400 viewers and maybe 5,000 views after 24 hours, but that other one, that was completely out of the park. Come on. Clearly the YouTube robots were working overtime. Okay, let's put that part back. Okay, you Numara, you take care, try to get some sleep. Thank you for everything you do. Appreciate it. And it's been stolen from that board. Of course it's been stolen from that board. What about you? Okay, you're still there. These sort of parts are a good example of why you do need a decent hot air station, because this is running at 460 and 110 and it still takes a while to get off. You really don't want to be trying doing it with one of those blower and handle Wung Chang Feng type branded units. You'll never get it off. You'll roast the board before you get it off. And really, in the big scheme of things, what is it now, $200 for these quick air stations? $200, you should make that up in your first day of business. Yeah, Steve, because you were complaining that I didn't take notice of you. So I had to make a point of making you wrong. It's the right thing to do. Hey Flatlander, just see you there. Alrighty. See if we've forgotten anything else. Oh yeah, that's right, there was that little smidge there. Really, that's probably more for the ultrasonic cleaner, but we'll give it a flux, boil and wash for now. eat that corrosion. Can't do it that quick with iPhones, I found. You do that and you'll smear that low temperature solder they use for the frames all over the board. That actually really does need to be touched up. That's a tough angle to get in at. Well, you touched up 3 PP354 caps the end of the above the SMC. What? What are you whinging about? I'm not sure you apply the same standard to yourself as what you apply to me when you're commenting on my videos, Lewis. Again, I'm just the imposter here, pretending I know lots of things about MacBook repairs. Meanwhile, I've barely been doing it for 3 or 4 years. Oh no, look at that. Does that trigger you, Lewis? A JTAG coming at you? You know I keep those. I'm going to send you a bag of them one day. Rescued JTAGs in a bag. Lewis Rossman is talking like a 10-minute tech. Yep, that's him. Where's my chipmunk? No, here we go. That's what I want. Okay, let's see if we have success. Let's see, MagSafe 2. Power on. Fingers crossed. Boo, what? 12 milliamp, nothing. Okay, so we've got 342. .8, that's not a good sign. A Flatlander. I'm an electrical engineer by trade, but always wary of taking the soldering iron to my MacBooks. It is a different sort of thing, isn't it? Did I put those parts in the right place? At least we've only got a reduced value on the 342 as opposed to a high value, which goes and destroys everything for me. I think we've got a short there. Look at that. I don't even need the damn infrared camera. That makes no sense, actually. That makes no sense at all, because I'm only pulling in 200 milliwatts. But why is it fizzing up? It's a diode in there. And it's going to town. I can't see how 200 milliwatts is doing that. Okay. I'm trying to bring out the thermal camera, not because I don't believe what's happening, but I just want to see if it shows up in the thermal camera. Anytime's a good excuse for a thermal camera. It's just strange because it, like I said, it was only at 200 milliwatts. I mean, if it's a small enough spot, yeah, 200 milliwatts can burn things, but yeah, 200 milliwatt laser is enough to burn things. But it's still strange to me. Okay. Okay, let's plug it in and see what happens. It would help if it was running. Come on, don't do that. FLIR not found. Is my battery going flat? Yep, the battery went flat. Let's plug our USB-C in then. There we go. Well, it's really not picking up that. So that's why I'm finding it very strange. Let's see. Let's cover that. It's still not picking up that. Oh wait, is it? I'm not really believing what I'm looking at. Chemical reaction pat is what I'm more thinking of, yes. I'm fairly sure I commented I was thinking maybe it was some sort of electrolysis going on. Yeah. Because yeah, it's definitely not showing up on the thermals. And like I said, I'm not surprised, given that it is... So my hands are hotter than it. Nope. Alright, disconnect that for now. Imran, that is just a small camera tripod. That's all it is. It's nothing special at all. 2.9. So I've either got a short or something in the... It's still going. It is still going. This is perplexing things. Maybe if I wash it. No, it hadn't burnt because it didn't ever... it never had a high current to start with. Yeah, it didn't sort of boost up to 1 amp or anything. Let's just see what happens now when I put the... It is definitely doing electrolysis here. Yeah, it's definitely doing electrolysis. That's what's going on. Because you'll notice it was on all the pads there. All the pads that are on that rail. Now I've got to wonder why is it doing that though. Very strange. Hey Prater. What was in the wine? I don't know. Grapes of wrath. What did you put in the water with the alcohol? What? Well, I just poured on pure alcohol then. But no, it's still electrolysis. I can see it, the bubbling up. That is bizarre. Could it be that this board will actually just need a good wash? Maybe it needs to just go in the ultrasonic. Perhaps that would be a more prudent option before I start changing things around, because perhaps the wine has left a residue of some kind, and yeah, it's causing this, because it is conductive. I'll take off the stickers and everything, have a look around it still. Internally shorted outlet, and it's like falling out right there. So normally I would not subscribe to ultrasonic on board before I've fixed it, but in this instance it feels like, yeah, we've got a residue sitting somewhere, and it's conductive in a way that's, I still find that amazing. Remove and clean the contact. What contact? Yeah, I'd say the wine's left behind some sort of residue. Wine was Chanel. So we got ourselves another night where we don't have a conclusive fix yet. At least we've got some pretty good smoking guns, but conclusive fix is another question. I'll check the diode mode on the 342 output anyway. 0.3, that is actually a little low, I think. I'm pretty sure it should be like 0.48. Where's the test board? Oh, that was a terrible noise. Oh, I got a 34, 37, it should be similar enough. Oh no, 0.3 is right. My bad. Yeah, English, it is a bit of a challenging run lately. It's starting to wear me down, to be honest. Alright, so what do? We go for the ultrasonic? That's more of a rhetorical question. Of course it's going for the ultrasonic. Yes, the ultrasonic should sober it up. Now the question is, what am I going to do with myself? It's 6 minutes plus 20 minutes in the dryer. Actually, I've got a 1708 I need to look at. Boots. Oh, that's right. This one does boot, but it doesn't see the battery. Yeah, Flatlander, I will be putting a nice soundproofing area, believe me, I really will. Limitations of what I can do right now. Oh, that's right. I wanted to see if maybe the cable on this one was dug. Oh, got to turn the board over. There's the rotten cable. See, it's got the fatigue lines there. I'm wondering whether they've actually cracked, but yeah, it's just hard to say. I do not have a replacement for this. Or do I? I wonder if I've got a 1708 floating around in here somewhere. Sorry about the noise. At least you guys can squelch it. I can't. sworn I had a 1708 as a just a Rainbow broken MacBook. iPads, it's no good to me. Oh crap. I have sent a computer back. I've sent a computer back without its box. Someone is missing a box. That's why it's generally not a good idea to send me boxes. Because these things do happen. No, I think it's not so much a typo, it's just a character translation issue. Yes, yes, yes. I have got a cable. I've got a cable that I stole from another computer. I better mark this one is not mine. Better mark that this one is mine. Yeah, the something 39 thing is yeah, it's a character translation issue. It's not important enough for me to care, put it that way. It's something you'll get to one day when I'm deciding that I'm going to sit down, have a cup of tea out the back and enjoy life. But for now, it's not happening. I'm just washing the board, get that caustic solution off. It's almost like you need a second ultrasonic tank to put the boards in with just water to knock out the corrosive cleaning agent from the main tank. Shoot. I also need a bigger office because I just tripped over everything then. Okay. Into the dryer. Surprise, don't use the OBS browser plugin for Ren. That is using the OBS chat read thing. That's all I'm doing. It's just a chat read. It is the plugin built-in thingamajig. Surprise, people don't realize these things. The tech mechanic, if you're using alcohol as part of your rinse after the ultrasonic, it will be, if you stop doing that and just use water, or distilled water or whatever, and then put into the oven, you'll find your boards come out amazingly a lot better. I know it sounds like it shouldn't be true, but it is. And I found that out because someone told me. Because I was complaining, it's like I keep getting this weird film on my boards after I've ultrasonicked them, and the, what do you call it, the the cleaner fluid will be new, and the alcohol will be new, everything will be new, but I'd still get that film. And they said, just don't bother with the alcohol part after it comes out of the ultrasonic cleaner. And what do you know? It worked. And that was with isopropylene as well, and 99.98% whatever quality. So it wasn't as if I was using a bad cut of alcohol or anything. Can we all guess if your work is simple yes or no answers? Maybe. What alcohol thing did you learn from Lewis? That drinking alcohol is bad for your live streams? Or don't drink alcohol while doing repairs? Don't drink alcohol while answering customer emails? Don't let fans come into the store and borrow a Dremel off you. That's always a bad thing. Get the same residues when I was doing on the resin. Yeah, I think it's something. I don't know whether it's something they cut the IPA with, or what. But yeah. Okay, let's see how we go. One amp. God damn it! That was it all along. It was the goddamn cable. Aha! 1.45, 1.55, 1.7, and you know, I went and changed the ISO on this. 2 amps, yep, that's what it is. It was just the cable. Well, that's going to be a nice $300 fix. Huzzah to me. Lewis, what the hell are you doing here? Again. The fan was nice from, what is it, Manitoba, Canada. Oh, you and your abuse of the true English language is just atrocious. Why do you offend your neighbour with such little honour? It colours you very inappropriately, good sir. Yeah, I was thinking it might have been the cable because when I disassembled I saw the fatigue cracks on that, but I just didn't get around to testing it until now, so huzzah for me. Still can't believe I wasted an ISL on it, and I've got goop all over my board now, so that offends me. Damn it. Oh well, can't get everything. So Lewis, what are you doing actually up at this hour? Because isn't it very early for you? It's just, yeah, it seems strange to have you in chat. He was mocking the onion eater when he visited Canada. The onion eater. Don't know what that is. Answering ticket emails. Oh, I thought you had people helping you with that. Isn't that sort of your thing to do as a modern, up-and-coming, proper business person, to hand off those jobs to others that can do it rather than you having to expend your limited energies? I mean, you've got a 2012 MacBook Air that you need to fix there. I suggest replacing it with a 2015 1466. Erica will love you even more for that. No need to change it to a Lenovo piece of junk. Let's see. Okay, nobody loves me tonight. That's fine. Alright, well, that's fixed. I'll just have to clean that up. I might be able to get away with just scrub cleaning that one rather than having to put this whole thing through the ultrasonic. I seem to be missing one of the rubbers off that, and that's not what I like to see. I wonder if I can even order any of those replacement cables, because I'm obviously going to need another one now. Let's see if the rubber is in the actual chassis. I've fired they're too slow. I've fired so many people who do this and they all fail working on it. Okay. Looks like my rubber's missing. It's fallen off. It's very distressing when that falls off, because you look around everywhere for it and I have no idea where that's gone. I suppose that leads me to my next question. Can you get replacement rubber seals for those connections? Maybe if I'm lucky I'll have one on one of my donor boards. This is where I feel like I am a genuine impersonator. Imposter, as it were. Because there's so many things that, like, you're watching me do these repairs, and I'm just floundering around most of the time like, oh, I don't know what that is, don't know where that is. No idea what that is. You imagine if I was a surgeon opening up somebody and they go, whoa, what's that? They'll be like, oh, sir, that's the heart. You're supposed to do a double bypass on that today? And you're like, whoa, I ain't seen one like this before. Nope, must be the wrong surgeon. Anyway, enough self-deprecating talk. No rubber on that, no rubber on that. There's got to be a place you can buy those things, surely. Don't make me have to cut one out of neoprene or something. Suggest a rose gold 1534. Sometimes I forget that Pernov has a sense of humour. You came here to learn manners after watching Lewis's stream. Hey Gavin, what kind of manners were you looking for? A local... Oh my. Okay, well, there's nothing on any of those boards, so... let me check in my... let me check in my container of machines that people have... This is where I got the cable from. This will be machines that people have donated to me. Like, I'd basically report them, say, look, it's a dead-end machine, I can't fix it. And these people have had the generosity to say, well, look, you know, you keep it, since it's no good to me, and yeah, maybe the parts will help someone else. And I really love it when people do that. I offer them money too as well for it, because yeah, these machines, even in this state, are worth money. And what do you know? We've got a rubber. And yeah, most of the time the people will sort of go, no money, but even it'd be nice too if they accepted the, you know, couple of $100 or whatever I'd offer them, depending on the machine. Clearly I'm not going to offer them a couple of $100 for a 1278. But you know, I like to think that I'm giving them fair payback for what they've contributed. Okay, there we go. And what do you know, that person that contributed the previous A1708 has enabled me to get this one up and running again, so that was a win. Magician extraordinary. Yeah, that's not me. Alrighty. Well, let's see, what's our board up to? We're only at 10 minutes on the drying phase. That's a little bit too soon. So you're going to have to put up with me talking for another about at least 5 minutes, perhaps. I'll see if I can scrub this clean without having to resort to ultrasonic cleaning it. So you validated the title of the stream. I can't even remember what the title of the stream was now. Good on you, Paul. Your memory's no good. Repair universe is beating something. Yep. Beating on me. All you need now is a chassis. I do have that, at least. I do have the customer's chassis, so it's all good. So we'll give that a little bit of heat. We'll get our absorbent paper ready to pick up as much of that flux as we can. I need to score some wins from it. Right, okay. And that we have indeed done. Thank you very much. It's a fine example of me completely forgetting what I've done 10 minutes ago. Erica wants to adopt the kitty and name it Giads. That's a weird name. What kitty? Is this a fourth kitty? Is Lewis becoming a insane cat man? Did Lewis step on cat poop at the wrong time and get himself that parasite that gets in his brain? I always forget the name of it. We had to deal with it about 2 years ago now. It wasn't the one that causes the madness, but it was in the same family. To be fair, that is a pretty damn big family of critters, parasites or whatever. But it was actually still scary though, because we had to get it tested to make sure it wasn't. Was it toxoplasmosis? That's it. Teresa just mentioned it. Thank you, Teresa. Yeah, so we had to get that checked to make sure it wasn't toxoplasmosis, and thankfully it wasn't. But we had to till the entire yard, bring in a whole bunch of extra soil, cover up things, and we couldn't let the cats out in various areas for quite a while. It was quite an arduous process to try and eliminate the damn parasite. It's not a nice thing either. Gets into their gut, really messes them up. They do become resistant of it, so to speak, as they get older, or after their first encounter, if they live. But the first time around, it's rough. And of course we had 5 kittens and the mother cat all suffering it. There's a lot of trips to the vet to get their daily injections. The madness then turns you into a repair tech. Might be true. There could be a correlation there. Maybe not causation, but there could be a correlation there. And that's plenty enough to go wild on the internet. Heck, you don't even need that. You just gotta have an opinion and a photo borrowed from somewhere else that's completely unrelated, and away you go. Lewis is right about the panic sale. What panic sale? Sorry, I missed that. Hong Kong law in effect. Yeah, I saw that. That's always going to be fun. I really need to catch up on my learning my Chinese. Make sure I'm ready. The trouble with cleaning up this stuff is the further you clean up, the further you spread. So which is why you ultimately end up going back to the ultrasonic cleaner. Damn it. I don't want to ultrasonic clean this. I really don't have to. It's more of just a personal aesthetics thing. Because this flux is not corrosive in the same way. How do you clean under the chips? That, yeah, of course, is where the ultrasonic comes into play. But like I said, the flux is not corrosive, so you don't really have the same issues if you have, say, a high activity flux. If you have a high activity flux, then yeah, you really do want to wash it off, even if it's not acid flux as such. But the Antec 559 or whatever it is that I'm using from Rossmann Repair Store, whatever it's called these days, it's technically safe to leave on the board. It's just visually a little bit displeasing at times. Is there a correlation between repairing cats and owning Macs? Oh boy. Owning cats and repairing Macs. Yeah. There does seem to be a commonality there. Tech people having cats. But then you do have others like Tim Herman, and he's got a dog. But it's a little dog, so maybe that counts as a cat. But yeah, most of us will have cats. Travis has dogs. There you go. The mum with the broken... Oh, man. Yes, Pedro, right. I remembered now. Yes, that's the one. Yeah, broken pelvis. Because the owner kicked or threw her. And she managed to crawl her way across the busy road to us. We were wondering where she was because she'd normally religiously come over every day to get some proper food from us. And then she didn't turn up one day. We thought, it's a little bit sus. And then the next morning she was spotted dragging herself across the road, and that's when we sprung into action, got her, and then we literally did do a covert operation to go over and get hold of the kittens from the yard without them knowing. And so they just sort of went, the kittens are gone. And they knew the mother was gone. And yeah, we grabbed them, and now they're ours. We did have to give away some of the kittens, though. We couldn't keep them all. Where do you think I Can Has a Cheeseburger came from? From Text with Cats. I haven't actually followed that thing much. I know of it, but I haven't followed it much. So that's what it is. Oh yeah, of course, yeah. Now I remember it. Just clearing up what excess flux I can, yeah. With my Grim Reaper. Flatlander, you got furless kids. No, they're the hard sort. Ow, 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 ow. Yeah, people think cats are ungrateful, but I think the furless ones are even worse. Oh, that is a hot board. Okay, so I only did this for just a couple of minutes. It wasn't the full ultrasonic. I just wanted to see if we could see anything without the chance of losing every single bit of a hint that we had. So I'm just going to wait for this to cool down. There, you can see at 3 minutes it hasn't had a chance to really get rid of all that flux. Even still, that's not too bad though. The old fluff crap building up. I'm certainly not a vet. We do give a lot of money to our vet. Dogs have no self-control, but at least you can train them. Dogs are ideal for people who, well, you know, I shouldn't actually make any judgments because I've had a couple of dogs myself, but I do prefer cats. I like cats because for the most part they are somewhat more independent, or they can at least do things not so much as a pack, whereas of course dogs want to do everything as a pack. The only time cats really come together as a pack is when they all think they're going to get a meal out of some wild lion or wallaby that they're going to take down somewhere. But then once that's consumed, then it's back to hating each other. Alright, let's see if we have any difference. It's cool enough that I can get away with just testing to see if that 342 is back to normal or not. Give me back my glove. Thank you. We don't need the fan. What have I got for time here? 11 o'clock at night. Okay, let's see how we go. The current is substantially less, but we are still down on what we should be. This is interesting. And I mean that with sincerity. It is interesting. Wow, we've really gone backwards. Have I got the right cable? Yep, that's the right cable. Power cycle. Formula. That's interesting. May have to redo that area. Let's see. What? Oh, my automated multimeter software is. Let's see. Multimeter. That's better. Yeah, Lewis, I just noticed that. So yeah, 0 volts there. Full voltage there. So it's got to just be something in here. Maybe try a different regulator. See what our resistance to ground is. 63k. Well, I can't say for sure, but that's a reasonable value. It could be that the corrosion got under that chip, so we'll just replace that chip again. That lower chip has bad solder on pins. That was getting hot before. What? You're talking about this one here? Ew, that's junk. The solder looks okay. I think it's probably just being conveyed more weirdly by the camera and the lighting. There's a bit of tarnish on them. That was from the electrolysis. Main 8 leg, yeah. This is why I didn't bother doing a full ultrasonic. Oh, get off there, you useless piece of fluff. You can see now it's clearing up. It's really only this second pin top right that's a different colour. 250 degrees is not going to cut it. I'll get rid of that cap, the big one as well. And out of an abundance of caution, I'm going to test the resistances of these divider pair. Ah, flip D. Has Harold got a USB-C chipmunk? He's working on one, I believe. It'll be nice when he gets one. 346, that's good. This one should be 200. Yep, that's good. They're fine. Okay, we've got a fatigue crack or anything in there? Check that inductor is also good. Had a little bit of corrosion on it, but I didn't think it was that bad. Yeah, that's fine. Alright, I think I know what the fault is. I just spotted it. Let's see if any of you can spot it. I'm sure you will. Tell me what's wrong there. Victor, 你好，你好吗？ let's see who comes up with the real fault. Yep, that's right. Trace is gone. There is no trace in there. It's just been eaten away. So that's what's going wrong. That's why it was all very confusing. So it must have just been marginally holding on before at a very high resistance. And yeah, so that's why it's dead. So it's good. The ultrasonic made it clearer for us. And good to see people paying attention. This is a bad idea. Bad idea, Paul. Yep. Do not use micro tips for this. It's a bad idea because what will often happen is you'll get frustrated and then you'll yank at that at the braid and subsequently tear the pad off. So that's one of those classic do not do this type suggestions from pretend professionals who then go and do it anyway. Okay, I'm just going to swing these resistors back. We don't have to care about that, that's just a test pad, that one. Okay, so we need to basically just... Since nothing goes there, I'll scratch back that trace and then join it up to here, to there. I don't really want to bother connecting it up to the chip pads directly, there's no real point doing that. Hey Newsboy UK, welcome back. Yeah, I've seen you turn up here the last few days. We're watching you. I do love these micro tips, but sometimes you get lazy and you go, oh, I'm not going to switch it back, and you really should. Sort of carving off the semi-molten solder there. And then just wiping it off in the... there we go. That's better. It's a nice way to eventually ruin a... well, it's probably about $100 tip. It's not a good idea. It's a trace problem. The only sub part of that character pair I can see there is it reminds me of the character for Hun, or whatever, I think it's Hun. No, that's the other thing I want to be able to work out is I noticed that most of the logographs are made up of smaller components that exist in lots of other logographs, and they do seem to have a similar influence. Anyway, I've got 3 or 4 years to go before I can claim any ability to understand or anything Chinese. I'll get there, I'll get there. I'll get there because I want to get there. That was silly, I should have put the trace on first, but oh well. We just leveled up in difficulty. Where do you buy your tips for the FX951? I get them in Australia from a place called Mechtronics. They're not too bad on price. I usually wait for specials though. I'm having a hard time getting my eye in on that trace. It's not even a long screw damage, and there we go, that's better. No, Mechtronics as in MEK-tronics. All one word. Okay, get ourselves a piece of overly thick trace wire. At least tonight with the overly thick wire we shouldn't break this board. Unlike last night where I embarrassed myself getting too zealous and damaging that circuit board. Hey Q's. 220 volt CPU. Toasty. Didn't quite get that right. Actually, not even close. Oh, put a new chip on there now. Warrant? No, not yet. It's going to take some time. We actually did slip back a little bit. All of a sudden had bills like car registration, medical bills, just all sorts of bills turned up, electricity bills. But we'll get there. The point is though that week on week we are progressing forward quite well. And I'm also waiting to hear back from the bank to see whether they want to wait for me to finish or report this year's financial year to the tax department, or whether they're fine with the prior 3 years as they are. Personally, I can't see why they wouldn't be fine with the prior 3 years, because I've shown a reasonable level of income at that point. Sort of more in the region of about 50 to 70,000 personal income each year, after all expenses, before tax. This year is substantially better, but considering I'm only asking for... That looks terrible, but it's not going to matter because it's going to get reflowed. Considering I'm only... What am I asking for? 120 with 30 down. I'd be surprised if they knock me back, but at least I do have more on hand if required. Get out of here, you're going to cause trouble. I'll just clean that up, particularly the back section here. It's better. It's good. Yeah, this one's going to be a bit tricky. And then I'll hit it with the hot air again. The reason why you like to hit it with the hot air again after you've bopped it down with the tweezers is because sometimes you'll get a small bridge between the center ground pad and one of the legs, and if you fire it up like that, it creates a very nice short to ground, which of course nobody likes. I just realised I'm still on the wrong job number here. There we go. The big thing is income to expense ratio. That actually is, yeah, you're absolutely right, Warren, and I had to fight with the bank the last time because we have a very small or very minimal expense sheet, and it kind of fell too far below what they considered to be the normal expenses, and they thought we were faking it. And I was like, no, we just don't do anything. We don't drink, we don't smoke, we don't go out, we don't buy food, like, takeout. We don't go on car trips. We just sit at home and do our stuff internally. My biggest expenses are electricity, internet, and food. As in, we spend about $1,000 to $1,200 a month on food, and that's it. Outside of that, not much. But you try to fill in those expense sheets, and they're like, you can't be living this cheaply. And it's like, yeah, I am actually. It's like, how do you think I'm saving the money? So it's difficult to explain to them that we just live very frugally. Alright, yes, I was self-isolating for it was required, so nothing changed in my life. Okay, here goes. Ooh, there's a bit of junk on the MagSafe. Green light, power. We'll wait just enough for that to go blinky green, and hopefully that doesn't go pff. Come on, green, 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 green. No, I'm getting overexcited. I might scare it. I'll get stage fright. Still no green. Ah, green. We got to win. Okay. So that can go back into the ultrasonic cleaner. I'll do that tomorrow. I think I'm going to finish up here on a high. We got the wine-soaked 1466 running. We got the 1708 that was been plaguing me because of the flex cable running. What else we fixed? We got Pedro's parts. Speaking of which, I should have a look and see how they're looking soaking in alcohol. If I can remember where I'll put that. Pedro, where did I put your alcohol soaked parts? That sounds very wrong. They're kind of gone far, Pedro. Yes, ice cream indeed for me. I think I'll make myself some ganache to go with it. I think it's well deserved to have some ganache. Aha, here we go. Pedro's parts. Hey, Toast Tech, how's it going? Yes, that's right, Alexi. Ice cream time. Yep. Yeah, we'll just take those out of the alcohol and see what they look like. If they're still a bit too gummy, then I will just put them through the ultrasonic tomorrow when I do the rest of these boards. Yeah, come on, get off my fingertip. Oh, I needed that win tonight, let me tell you. I was really getting down on it. Because I haven't built out a job all week. Like a MacBook job. I've had the iPhones, but I hadn't had a MacBook job built out, and that was starting to weigh on me. Kind of looks like they probably could do with the ultrasonic. Maybe a minute each side. Oh, yeah. There's still bits of flux gum in there. But they do look intact at least. So I'm happy with that. Pedro, what, do you want me to send them to you like this, or you want me to ultrasonic them so they're perfect? If you finish now and you miss all the midnight trolls, I think I probably could do to miss them tonight. Well, I'll stick them in a little drug baggie. Okay, Victor, it's Asien. You know, I keep saying chit as this front. I really meant to say jit, as in J, but on the spot I keep mispronouncing that. I'll improve on that. Okay, there you go, Pedro. Your stuff's in a zippy bag. Pedro bits. Whew. Alright then, well, that's it. I'm out of here. Thank you very much for dropping around and helping me get through what was going to be a difficult night otherwise. I'm glad that we actually had a win. It's a nice change given how many not quite so wins we've had the last few nights. So hopefully tomorrow will be a good day as well. Maybe I'll hear back from the bank. In the meantime, you all take care. I'll see you later.